Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host for today, renowned for his lightning speed improvised raps, which have catapulted him to the top of the international hip-hop scene. Please welcome to the stage one of the UK's finest freestyle rappers, Chris Turner.
Thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be here this afternoon with you guys to celebrate the best of London's venues. Let's start with the first question. You heard the announcement correctly, one of the UK's finest freestyle rappers, and I'm aware that when you hear that phrase, it is not this that comes to mind. I'm 26 years old. I studied archaeology and anthropology at university, which is why I do this now. Because best of luck getting a job as an archaeologist when you cannot grow a beard. I don't even have a chin. And this is the perfect venue to do that joke in, because most of you are sat on a 45-degree angle to my face. People in the middle, you're missing out a little bit, but don't worry, there you go. And don't feel sorry for me, right? You were leaning on your hand, like subconsciously hiding your chin because you thought I would feel bad about it. I can do everything that you can do, except fold a towel. But don't worry, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Yeah, freestyle rap, what's it all about? Basically, it's rap made up on the spot based on your suggestions. We're going to kick the awards off with that before we move into the hosting. Just questions to clear up first. I was 12 years old when I bought my first hip-hop album, the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem. Yeah, some of you guys might know him by his Roman name, Thousand and Thousand. Good. You were the quickest on that one, sir. I appreciate it. Not a lot of comedians do gangster Roman numeral jokes. I is one. Again, took a while, but we got there, which is good to see. 12 years old, listened to Eminem, listened to artists like Dr. Dre, thought it was pronounced Dr. E. And my mum was worried, right? She said the violent, misogynistic lyrics and imagery made me a worse person. And I don't know what that cracker-ass hoe's talking about. I think I've grown up to be quite, an upstanding young gentleman. But I do appreciate when I was like 10, I was a nicer boy. 10 years old, really energetic, used to love running round, sitting in shopping trolleys. And Mum hated that. She's like, Christopher, get out of the canal. But I didn't listen, because I thought I was a gangster. When I was 12 years old, I bought this. This, for those of you not au fait, with gangster couture, is a bandana in the colors of the LA gang, the Bloods. It's not the original. That was stolen by bullies. 3 times. Joke's on them. It's only £2 on Amazon, in the section dog accessories. I used to wear this walking around thinking it gave me carte blanche to use gangster phrases, right? So phrases not like carte blanche, but phrases such as, I'ma pop a cap in yo ass, which doesn't make me sound gangster. It makes me sound like an inept gynecologist. And I thought wearing this meant people would be scared of me. They weren't going to bully me. But I used to get abuse shouted at me every day from idiots in white vans that ironically said no tools in this vehicle. And I found that unfair, right? But I realized it's because I don't look pretty fly. I look like I'm about to shout the Milky Bars are on me. So it is an absolute pleasure to be here, and I feel we're skirting around the issue of the freestyling, so we'll bust straight into that. To do that, I need some suggestions. So I need you guys to think of a word, a topic, a phrase, a concept, an event, an individual, a paradigm that you would like to hear a hip-hop song about. So not something that everyone else is going to think of. People always think of foods or animals or words like, football or flower or house. Think of something different, something maybe challenging, imaginative. We'll get some suggestions. I'll split the room into kind of fifths, and we'll work that into a rap. So, if we can start with this kind of furthest section, let's get a word. What do you guys want to hear a hip-hop song about? What was that? Like a pug. A pug. Cool, that's very specific. A pug. A pug is the first suggestion. Cool, word from this kind of segment here? Well, that was something very short. What was that you said? Three-phase electric. Lovely. Over there, you shouted something as well, but I think it was, what was it? Rugby. I think three-phase electric has beaten that in terms of a challenge. So we've got pug, three-phase electric. Cool. Let's get a suggestion from this kind of little swathe over here. Machu Picchu. I did one about Machu Picchu about 3 weeks ago at Cadogan Hall. And if you want to check that, there's a video online. That's not just me skirting the issue. I can rap about Machu Picchu all day. I studied archaeology. Transubstantiation. Lovely. Transubstantiation, three-phase electric, pugs. Let's get a word from the kind of furthest quarter. What was that? Bizzle. Lovely. Bizzle. Could either be the surname of popular rapper Lethal Bizzle, or a kind of, appendation. Oh, Bizzle? He's a person. Lovely. Well, seeing as we've definitely never met before, it's going to be a completely, entirely made-up thing about that. The word Bizzle, transubstantiation, three-phase power, pugs. Let's get one final suggestion. Let's try and make it the best one. The best I've had in the last 12 months was Afghani irrigation systems. I'm not saying you're going to beat it. I'm just saying try. Lighthouses and Nicola Sturgeon. What I'm going to do is combine those two, and we'll have Nicola Sturgeon and lighthouses in some way. So Nicola Sturgeon's lighthouse, Bizzle, transubstantiation, pugs, and three-phase electric. This is going to be a freestyle rap about all those things, guys. And please don't worry, it's not anywhere near as atrociously embarrassing as you would expect a 26-year-old middle-class white boy to be. You seem so unconvinced. But if we can drop that beat, good sir. Let's get this going for real. Yeah. Nice. This is pretty cool. The beat's nice and bumping and loud. Yeah, we got the bass going, we're pumping in the club. Walk right in, but they're like, stop, thug. I'm like, what you saying? I want to get him rubbed up close, but you can't walk in with the pug. Trying to get the club, it's not a lot. I enter there with my little pet dog. In the cloakroom, they search me. They're like, you can't come in with the puppy. And I'm like, why? No pugs in this club? I'm like, I thought it was no drugs in this club. It doesn't make sense, keep up the pretense. I just put it under my armpit, hence. Hold her in over here, yeah, do a stance. Look over here with its little leg pants, wearing a little bandana around its neck. It's a gangster pug, gets all the respect. Looking kind of strange, yeah, irate. Always angry with its little pug face. Nose squished up, tiny teeth. I'm like, maybe euthanize it, give it relief. It should be put down, and not in that way. Not let on the floor so it could play. I'm not saying pugs are not thuggy. I'm just saying all pugs are ugly. It's just my opinion, don't hate me. I want to go down on my 9V battery. It's not my fault. I like it when it's got a much lower volt, but you get it up there. Increase the power. Take to 240. Spend about an hour in there. When I got my pug, I want to add the L and stick it into the plug. 3 little pins on there. I rehearse. Spit freestyle, and one is for the earth. Other is for neutral. Other is for life. If you want to remain alive, you better not put your finger right in the socket. Otherwise, you find the 3-phase power rocket going there. You're like, oh, my fault. I'm gonna have to sue the creators of vaults. Coming out there, yeah, me you should thank. Wanna get it in a plug with much less amplitude, because then it's much less lethal. Lethal like what? Like Lethal Bizzle. I'm not saying where you came with the word. When I hear Bizzle, I'm just like observe. Bizzle in gangster parlance, I will say yes. It's basically shortening for business. Let's get the Bizzle going on. I'm gonna conduct some business in this song. B to the shizzle to the nizzle to the wong. It doesn't make sense, so I can't go on. It's like I got a real goddamn urging to talk about a lighthouse with Nicola Sturgeon. I don't know, came to me tonight. I see her up there spinning round, operating lights. She's like, hello, up in the north. We want to make sure the ships stay on course. Keeping over there, get the pretense. I want the ships to vote for independence. And we're like, wow, you collect them. So many lighthouses for your referendum. She's like, I protect the ships at sea. I'm the leader of the SNP. Wow, Nicola, I think that's ridiculous. Thanks for providing the stuff for us. Have you got anything up there in your head? She goes, well, I can turn a body from bread. That's so strange in your Scottish nation. What's it called? Well, transubstantiation. It is when you believe the Holy Ghost comes in and change the bread to Jesus the host. Get it out there. You feel very good. This wine tastes weird, yeah, because it is blood. It's just times there when it goes in you. When it gets to your mouth and esophagus goes through, it turns into basically body. Maybe the attitude to cannibals are shoddy. In the church, I don't know where I sit. Maybe you'd be sick if you eat the bread Catholic. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.